Sławek.
We're going to talk about Viennese waltz in American style in a class B. So as all the other figures, all the other dances, we need to make sure we have the first 4 measures in a closed traditional hold, and then within a minute, we're going to have another 8 bars of the closed hold. So we're going to show you all the steps that are allowed in this level. Now we would like to invite Artyom and Katya to demonstrate a beautiful American Viennese waltz.
And now we're going to give a name of the figures. We start with the bounce fall away. Into the back check, into the open right turn, into the counter timing turn to shadow, into the shadow open right turns, in the shadow fleurs, and the underarm turn to the right. Explosion, in and out, and change place with underarm turn to the left, and then reverse underarm turn. Advanced hand-to-hand combination, and then in développé, walking underarm turn into the 5th position break, into the back spot turn, into the balance step, another one, 1, 2, 3 of reverse 10, into weave, flip flop, counter promenade walk, swivel into another counter walks, and then standing spin. Thank you very much, that was great. And now we're going to dance with the timing. And 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
So we're going to start together. We're going to do a bounce fall away first. So in the American style, we can beautifully counter time this. We'll go 1, 3, 1, 3. So as you can see, this is a traditional figure, but we already start exploring a new things in American Viennese waltz, which is the different timings. So very quickly before we continue, we have 3 different timings in this beautiful dance. We can use the 1, 2, 3 timing, which is a strict tempo. We have the counter timing, which we just used in that bounce fall away, which is the 1, 3, 1, 3. There is no step on 2. And we have a hesitation timing, which has a step on 1, nothing on 2, 3. So in this particular step, we chose to dance 1, 3, 1, 3 timing, so we can be a little bit more musical and we don't feel like we're so rushed with the music. Okay, we'll do this one more time. And we go 1, 3, 1, 3. Then we're going to into the outside partner position to back check. 1 hesitation timing, 1 hesitation timing. So as you can see, these were the 4 bars that we had to stay in a closed position at the beginning of this routine. So we'll do this one more time. And we go 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1. From here, we're moving into open natural turns, and we're gradually going to start changing connection between us into alternative hold. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you could see, we gradually start changing proximity between two of us, and we start having alternative hold. We could do it in advanced alternative hold in a class B as well, where both of the partners have the left arm released, so we can demonstrate few of those open right turns right now with the different hold that is allowed in this level.
But pay attention that I still maintain very strong right side of my frame, so Marzena could still feel very comfortable in my frame, so she could be very expressive with her left arm.
And as we mentioned a few times before, what's very important, the gentleman is going to project his sternum through the lady in all those open right turns versus trying to shape himself away from us. So therefore, the lady can have a much more beautiful picture line. Yes, if we do it incorrectly, a few of those when Sławek is going to start shaping backwards. Right now, like you can see, I do not have enough room to turn. And now we go back to correct. He can shape me, so I can do a beautiful picture line in this open right turns. Yes? Now, we have a beautiful transition from this open work into the shadow work. So what we need to do right now, we're going to make sure we are going to change proximity even more on the last step, if we can go this way. So we just finished open right turn, and now the gentleman is going to change the lady into the shadow.
So I'm going to dance hesitation timing 1, and Marzena is going to dance counter timing 1, 3.
So I go 1, I'm going to do a little spiral on the left foot, and then 3, changing the connection to the left hand. And then from here, we both will do counter timing 1, 3. Now, what's so important in those counter timing is the footwork. Every time when I go on a 1, I'm going to roll beautifully through my foot from heel to toe. This is my 2, and this is my 3. So please make sure you do not pop, and we don't go immediately up on the toe, because now it looks like one leg is shorter than the other, and it doesn't progress anywhere but up.
So we actually, in this case, we rise forward and rightwards. That's where we rise, forward and right.
Yes, so if we do one more time this transition, you can right now, we'll see how Sławek leads this through his back. So you can see how his body is changing.
So I'm using the sternum sort of like a dial that gives Marzena feeling of changing anchor here. And then she continue traveling forward and turn on the very end when I'm basically waiting for her. On the very end, we both compress. So now we can join together in the next step.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful transition to any shadow work that we can do. We're allowed to do a shadow work in a class B in a strict tempo only, so if it's rotational. So if we're going to turn the steps together as a partners, we can do only 1, 2, 3 timing. If we're going to have non-rotational figure, let's say we're going to demonstrate later on swivel actions, flare actions in a shadow position, those steps we can dance in a counter timing or in a hesitation timing. But if we turn together around each other, the only timing that it's allowed, it's a 1, 2, 3 timing. So from here, we're going to move on to the next figure, which is the shadow right turn. So we just finished our canter. We only have the left hand connection here. So the moment when we start compressing the knee, if we maybe demonstrate this way, Sławek immediately offers the hand on my body, so I can feel that I have to slow down. So I have to become the anchor for him, and he can continuously go through, and then we can do this open right turn. So if we do this one more time, and we're going to use maybe this wall to demonstrate. So we're going to go a little bit more in a different angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just do this again. I'm slower, I'm more active. I'm slower, and I'm more active. So that's very important, the inside and outside rotation right here.
But the speed between our bodies is constantly changing, but what doesn't change, the awareness of which side is leading. Since we're constantly turning to the right, both in a close and a shadow positions, we need to still think that our right sides are positive. So if we do it incorrectly, as we take a first step, especially for the lady, it's very tempting to take the right side backwards because she needs to feel slower. So as a result, see now, our body's going completely opposite direction. So it'll be really difficult to continue swinging together. So we need to think both of our sides dancing forward, just the boy is dancing faster in this moment. Now from here, now Marjana is going to dance faster, but we still keep maintaining right side positive. Okay?
So, well, as we said before, this is one of the steps that we can do in a strict tempo. So the action in the rise and fall is going to be much more shallow, not so deep. So we feel every time when we do a 1, 2, 3 timing, we feel like we're swinging across 1, 2, 3. We're not swinging up. So this will start looking like we're popping. We want to feel we're sending our hips across. And it doesn't matter if we close our feet or if we right now pass our feet and we continuously go and we pass our feet. So you can see how our hips are going and swinging across and our rib cage follows that action. Okay? We're moving on into the next shadow step, which is the shadow flare. So shadow flare, as I mentioned before, has a different tempo. We're doing just step on 1. It has a hesitation timing only. We go 1, and then we compress the knees on 3. And we're allowed to do it because as a partners, we're not rotating around each other. So if we just do a shadow flare, we'll go 1, 3, 1, 3. So as you can see, hopefully, we only turn our feet. That's the only thing that is turning. Our upper body, it's still looking exactly in the same direction.
And what we did as well, we slightly pick up the center, and if we go first, left foot forward. After we place the foot, there was a little bit of pickup of the center, so that makes the leg much easier job to actually turn. And then towards the end, we flex again. So we still show our 3s through the knees, and that 3s will connect to next step, which is 1 again. From here again, after we place the foot, we pick up the center a little bit. Again, it's easier for the center to turn the leg, and then we compress again through the 3.
So even though the actual footwork has no foot rise, we will feel we go from the heel to the ball of the foot as we swivel, and then we recompress. So you can still see the 1, 2, 3 action in that Viennese waltz versus going 1, 1 when I'm not rising at all. So if we do it one more time correctly, we'll go 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. We release the knees. So we like to say drive, knee, drive, knee, drive, knee, drive, knee.
It's what Marjana just mentioned is very important because of the speed of this dance. It's so easy to see that couples sometimes running too much across the floor instead of actually still creating the characteristic actions for this dance, which is still swing, sway, rise and fall and rotation. So it doesn't matter what timing are we dancing right now. If it's a strict tempo, counter timing or hesitation, we still want to see the beautiful swing actions. Just the depth of the swing will change based on the timing.
Okay, so we did 2 flares and we're going to move on into the following figures. So we just finished our open right turns. So we have our right foot free, and we go and 1, 3, 1, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 3, 1, 3. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time. As you could see, Sławek right now decided to have just one hand connection. We're not going to feel right now that there is a body contact in the other side, but we could easily do the same step with having both hands on the lady's body. So 1 on the hand, 1 here. If we do it one more time, we'll go 1. Now lady can beautifully finish the rotation right here with the foot. So you could see right now I was in the frame constantly.
And what I will also suggest for gentlemen, you have 2 options. So you can take a step between lady feet, right? Or you can take a step outside partner, right? So when you're gonna have an open hold, the single hand hold, it's easy because that will give you a little bit more freedom. So it's easier to take a step outside partner. Right? If you're going to be a little closer in the shadow, it might be a little harder to take, if I go left foot first, it will be a little harder to take a step outside. So most likely I'll follow lady and just the second step will go outside partner, right? So based on proximity, it will change where you're placing your left foot in relationship to the lady.
Okay, So we're moving into the next step. We have the underarm turn into explosion line, and then we have a beautiful in and out action with the passing behind with the underarm turn.
So this piece is great because it allows us to express our bodies a little bit more. There's less traveling in this section, so the bodies, and the timing is slower, so the bodies can be a little bit more musical.
Okay, so we're going to start with that little metronomic turn. So as you can see right now, Sławek is changing the posture, the spine. I have to mirror him. That left arm, it's traveling to end up in front of my body. So if we do this one more time, we travel. That when Sławek drops this hand, that tells me to continuously finish the turn. And then from here, through the foot pressure, we end up with the beautiful explosion line. Then we go in and out, in and out. If we just go one more time through this in and out, this is our famous zipper technique. So we go through the in and out, and we're going to do this few more times so you guys can see how we're mirroring each other and we're zipping and unzipping this shape. So that's a very beautiful picture, very much in harmony, feeling that we really follow the partner and we can do this together. It's not only about the waving the arms.
It's actually very much less about the arms, it's much more about the body activity, and that's what the zipping idea is about. So if we actually completely take the arms away, you see that our bodies are still very strongly acting.
So I feel like my
other.
rib cage does this infinity motion all the way through, and then when we just add the arm that follows the upper body, you will see this beautiful volume and beautiful shape.
And also what gives the volume and the shape for the arms is that they're not really rushing, because often we try to be expressive through the arms and the arms go ahead of the body, and as a result we're losing the volume and the coordination between the bodies and the arms are not working anymore. So try to always think to activate the body first and let the arm just follow.
So this will be incorrect when we go for the hand and for the hand. So we took a shortcut and we start looking for the ending position versus the journey from foot to foot and then the journey from foot to foot. So if we do one more time correctly, journey and journey. Yes, so that's our in and out. Now we're going to talk about the change places when the lady is turning to the left. So when we go from here, we just finish our beautiful explosion. You can see how Sławek indicates that I have to start moving, feeling behind him. He turns his body towards me. As I go here, I have two hands in front of my body. My sternum is fully over my right toes. Then I feel from the gentleman that he's going to turn me and lower the connection so we can come back here. And then we will go opposite explosion line on this side. So if we do this one more time, maybe actually on the other side so they can see us from behind. Excuse me, I should be on this side. And we'll go one. You can see I'm going for the connection. I have both hands in front. Then Sławek is inviting me to turn here. And that rotation will tell me to finish my turn. And then he directs me so we can finish in explosion line. So it's a beautiful pass. The connection, it's crucial over there to feel each other, the timing, the distance, and the space that the lady has to enter.
Especially with the speed overall of this dance, it's so easy to start following the rhythm of the drums. So when we start feeling 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we start allowing the energy goes too high, and we start panicking, feeling like all the connections we talk about, there's no way that we can actually have time for it. But when you actually drop your center of gravity a little lower and start focusing a little bit more on the melody, especially in that particular section of the choreography, you will definitely find a little bit more time to express yourself and therefore enjoy the movement together.
Yeah, and now the timing in this figure, it's a counter timing into the hesitation timing. So it feels really easy to express because we have way more time. We do not have to do a 1, 2, 3 timing. So if we do one more time with the timing, this is 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Have plenty of time here. Now from here, we're going to continue go to the following figure. So reverse underarm turn. The gentleman is going to indicate the lady rotation. 1, 2, 3. And I'm finishing in the gentleman promenade position and then metronomically going into underarm turn in an open facing position. Yes? So we do this one more time from the explosion line. I go around 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's very important. The speed is much faster in this step. We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 timing. I cannot rise too much. I need to, on every 3, release my knees as much as I can in the new direction of the following figure.
From men's perspective, what's important and actually not quite easy to do is that I have to send lady forward, but at the same time, as I'm sending her forward, I actually have to take a step back. So it's crucial for this particular moment to be aware of the center of the connection, right? So I'm moving Marzena forward, but I move myself backwards. So we more or less moving around the common center, which we continue in step 2 and step 3. Now here, see, my body starts shaping more, which start indicating that I'm going to turn Marzena to the left underarm. Now you see I'm coming closer, so the center is changing from between us towards Marzena's standing foot. So we can do turn, and as we're lowering, see the connection goes back. I'll show here, connection go back to the common center. Now we both can move away from it without disturbing it.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful step. It's quite fast. I'm going to do one more suggestion for the ladies. As you run, I really think it's beautiful when the lady is dancing on a big arc away from the gentleman. So I wouldn't look at my partner in this particular step. I actually want you to feel like you want to check every single person in a ballroom, and then you follow and you find your partner right here.
Just to check if he's still with you.
Yes, but it looks so much better, and it allows me to use my head weight and my core to create much more counterbalance as I do it. If I will go here, it's possible, but it does not feel that I have the same volume as I had with my head turned to the left.
On the other hand, I wouldn't suggest that for gentlemen. I wouldn't like to do too much out, because you will see immediately my shoulder will get disconnected. So I will let Marzena express herself outwards, but I still want to make sure that I am controlling the distance between us. So I will never let her go too far away from it.
Yeah, and as we do this, ladies, make sure you don't sway leftwards. I still feel like my high jumper, the bar is on the left side as much as I would do in every traditional ballroom hold. Okay, and we're moving on into the 2 slow walks into the advanced hand-to-hand combination. So we will demonstrate this in a little bit different angle than we did at the beginning to show you guys a connection. So as we start with an explosion line, we have 2 measures of the hesitation timing walk. 1 and then 1. As you can see, if we do those walks one more time, on every 3, we still release the knees. So even though we take step on 1, on the 3, we release the knees. So we go knee, drive, knee, drive. So it's very important that we already start getting ready for the next measure of the step.
So we're looking for the continuity of the movement. Again, if we show it incorrectly, you see we arrive a little bit earlier of the foot, and then we have to wait until 3 comes. So watch, this is wrong. 1, stop, 1. See, it creates sort of a very choppy feeling. The feeling is that if someone will see us just from the waist up, they should see our body continuously driving, even if we're only taking 1 step at a time in a bar of music. So if we try again, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the feeling what we're looking for.
Okay, and then from there we go into advanced hand-to-hand combination. It's a very long step. We're going to progress a lot in this step. There's 2 different ways to demonstrate the same step. We can do it with passing feet, and we can do the same thing with crossing foot behind. So we're going to first just demonstrate the steps. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then either we can cross behind.
So let's cross first.
We can cross and lower.
And pass.
And now pass on the outside foot. Or we can pass every single time 1, 2, 3, and then the same on the 4, 5, 6. So either one, depending on how much room you have ahead of yourself, you can make this decision. Or when you choreograph, you can decide if you have entire wall for this figure, we would like to pass. And if we just do it on the end of the wall, then probably would suggest with the crossing the following follow-away action.
The important thing is, regardless if you choose to cross your feet or pass your feet, make sure don't turn them too much. Because see, the body has a very strong rotary action. So you almost feel like it's almost dancing towards each other and very much away. So if your feet with this speed will start turning too much, very quickly you'll find yourself sort of stumbling against your own feet. So try to think maybe if you will cross first. When you cross, see when I place my second step, so my right foot basically, it feels like it's in the lady promenade, Marjana's in the boy promenade, and then from here when you cross, no more turn. So make sure the foot doesn't turn anymore. All what we're looking for is a pure swing. Swing, done. See? So what we're looking for now, my shoulder is connected to my left heel, since it's a standing heel, and Marjana's right shoulder, the back of it, is connected to her right heel. But her sternum is still projecting towards the front of that foot. So you can still see the lowering. It's actually beginning of the next step. Never ever think, particularly in this dance, never ever think as a 3 the end. The 3 is always actually the beginning.
Yes, so if we do this one more time, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and now from here,
when we pass,
4, 5,
swing,
we continue pass through, and immediately, the moment when we get to this foot, we release the knee to create momentum for the following figure. Okay? So we have few measures of this, either run or the crossing foot behind, and then the tempo changes. Then we're going to go into the solo turn, into the canter, underarm turn to the right for the ladies. So it's a beautiful combination. We'll go right now the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. As we are ready right now, we both are going to turn outwards away from each other to 3-step turn. 1, 2, 3. Yes, so we do this one more time. Go a little further because we're going to end up on the wall. We'll have no room. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now it's very important right now that we match this rotation here, because the lady is going to start turning into right, which is very important. Natural turning figure. My right side is leading, 3, and the right side is leading until I finish with the forward walk turning. So if we can just do the ending from the turn.
From the turn.
Now, what's very important in a turn, we're not going to try to spot with our head. Sławek is turning to the right, I'm turning to the left.
And notice that we both, even if the previous position, we actually finish with the pendulum swing where our center, our hip feels like it's moving ahead of our body. We're still through the lowering, we're actually changing where the center is projecting. So now you see the upper body start being ahead of the movement. So by the end of the first step, you should already see that our heads are passing or about to pass our standing foot, which causing the next step to happen. And now here, see again, we're going to change again through neutral to pendulum. The reason why is because if we maintain the same, it will create a pickup of the speed, and there's no way we can reconnect together. So here we're going to change. That allows us to reconnect as we're lowering. And here, ladies, as you're lowering, you need to continue rotating your body to the left. My body continue opening to the right. The purpose of it is to allow you to have a right side positive as you enter into the next turn, which is to the right. Okay. And we'll do one more. Another difficulty here in this combination, it becomes obvious for us, is the fact that the timing of the turns is changing. The previous turn was 1, 2, 3, and right here we have to sort of put a little bit on a break and start turning for lady, and I have to do my running through in a counter timing. So if the body maintains the same sort of energy and speed, it's very tempting. If I do the turn first, it's very tempting to do another 1, 2, 3 timing, which obviously will cause us to be off time for this particular step. So make sure put a little bit more on a break. If we do again the solo turn, 1, 2, put on a break. So even if we don't touch each other here, it's okay. You can find each other a bit later, but you see, make sure you have a little bit more rise so we can slow down, compress, and there's another earlier rise, and then we're lowering. So that will allow us then to get into the developer. And it will be great end of this long combination. So it will change from the really fast pace to very slow and a very beautiful line.
Okay, so that's advanced hand-to-hand combination. It's a long pattern, ends with that beautiful développé action. So if we can just right now go maybe here. So if we just finish the développé with that underarm turn, we will, on this level, we suggest to do this in Viennese waltz with double hand hold. We can do this maybe with the one hand hold, handshake hold in a waltz when the music is much slower, but in the Viennese waltz, the tempo is still pretty fast. We need to feel a little bit more secure maybe, and we will really highly recommend to do this in double hand hold. So again, I'm going to go through my CVS roll concave, then we go through the vertical, and then I feel Sławek's upper body dancing through me to create that beautiful développé action. So that's a beautiful step. We can hold this as a picture line for up to 2 measures if we want to in our choreography. So don't do it for the 3-4 bars. You can do it either 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's it.
So gentlemen, again, the feeling or what I have in this step is that my upper body sort of wants to be above Marzena. But again, be very careful about it. You don't really want to be above Marzena because that will make me very heavy. So what I'm doing is I'm dancing my rib cage forward and up, so that gives me this sort of, again, up and over feeling. But the more I project my body forward and up, the more my spine, through the foot pressure, is looking for my heel. So my head weight and the heel is dancing towards the heel. So you see this increasing of counter resistance inside my body, which make me look stronger and make me feel stronger, so I can actually support Marzena more with her beautiful extension.
Yes, so that's the développé. As I did the last one, we do not have to lift the foot off the floor. We can leave the foot on the floor and still create a beautiful picture line.
But ladies, if you choose to lift your foot off the floor, make sure the highest level you can lift is your hip level.
Yes, for the closed syllabus. So when we go from here, now I like to feel 1, 2, 3. On the moment when I come here, my foot brushes on the outside of my leg, and then we can pick it up right here. So we'll do this one more time. We go 1, then we brush, then we elevate, and then we shape right here. As we finish, the most important, my standing leg has to lower, because the next step, starts with the count 1, which means I have to do a heel toe. So we're going to go to the following figure, which is the walking underarm turn in a Viennese waltz, which is still very fast. So I go 1, 2, 3. It's a very nice transition, so I can go on Sławek left side. And we're going to close it 4, 5, 6. Yes, so what's very important over there, Sławek indicated with his upper body again that I'm going to go somewhere under this arm. So that's how it tells me with the invitation that I need to move across, passing him to the left side.
And gentlemen, make sure that once you allowed lady to pass you, then you can actually continue moving with your step. So that means the awareness of the timing is extremely important. If you rush here, you might a little bit bump into each other, right? So make sure she's gonna pass you underarm first, and then here take a last step forward, which means the second step will be really, really small. You might literally close your feet, and the third step will actually go forward again.
Yes. So now, the following figure, it's a 5th position break with the back spot turn combination. So we're going to do this a little bit maybe this way so you guys can see us better. We start here with the finished closed feet. We're going to do a 5th position break. 1, 2, 3. Now we're doing a back spot turn, which is very similar to the natural top in the rumba or cha-cha. And we go 1, 2, 3, and then we open up again. 1, 5th position break, and we will practice this one more time. 1, 2, 3. As you can see, ladies, my head stays outside. I fulfill the energy outward all the time. I don't want to turn my head to the right. I keep my head really resisting Sławek and the centrifugal force of that figure.
Yet your back is really dancing forward and up to me, so you make your left side of your back really available for me to reconnect. Because what's beautiful about this step, the connection is changing. You can see really opening, and then we're coming back to close hold. So watch, this is really nice and open, and now we're bringing ourselves back to either alternative, either alternative, or if Marzena will close her arm, we'll get actually back to the normal traditional hold. And again, we open, and then she's making her back available for me. So you can make it really powerful. Yeah, it's a great step. It's a really fun step to do.
Yes, so we have this in our routine twice. It's a beautiful step, and then we go to the balance steps. So balance steps are very easy, very nice step. It's a rocking action. When we do balance steps, we can either have it with the rise, when we actually replace the foot 1, 2, 3, or we can do it more like a rock step. So that's how we chose it, to have a little bit less rise. We treated this more as a picture line, stopping action versus a traveling step. So if we do one more time from the maybe 5th position break. So we do 1, 2, 3, back spot turn. And then from here, we do a balance step. And then we will do another balance step into more like a checking action. So as you can see, that we connect it again to the traditional hold. We're going in the traditional hold into the 4, 5, 6 of the reverse turn for the gentleman. 1, 2, 3, and then we continue staying in a closed position into weave. 1, 3, and 4, outside change, 5, 6. So all of this, to make sure we find enough measures in a closed position, goes into traditional hold, traditional closed position. So we do this one more time. We'll do this one more time from the last back spot turn and 5th position break. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can see the weave was very much with the counter timing, 1, 3, and then we went outside change to the regular 1, 2, 3 tempo.
So here's just one thing for gentlemen, especially, that it's gonna feel pretty fast when we get into the weave. I'm really, I'm really sending my center up towards my left hand, so that helps us to release our hips. But now as you're lowering, if you're gonna be a little late with, again, catching your weight back into your hip, you're gonna feel your upper body is gonna lead you first, and most likely you're gonna turn too much after the upper body. So make sure as you lower, immediately get your weight back into the hip. So now we can drive through the base, so my body can continue dancing up towards Marzena, even if I'm much lower to the legs.
So obviously we kept this in a closed position, but it doesn't have to be, depending how do you choreograph your routine. We could do this with alternative hold. So we can go from here one more time, maybe from the same 5th position break. So I have an open facing hold. Now from here, I could go with the rock step with one hand hold. Then Sławek probably will go with alternative hold, having his right arm on my armpits. We can stay here, and I could still shape that beautiful weave and outside partner. So I do not have to do it in a classical hold. It's just a suggestion for our choreography, so we have enough material in a closed position. Okay, we're moving on into the next step.
Flip-flops.
There are flip-flops in Viennese waltz. We already talked about the step in the different dances. It's a beautiful step. It's a very fast step because we're doing a 1, 2, 3 timing, and we continuously change positioning between each other.
So definitely you shouldn't think about rising. The rise should only be a result of your swing. So if your swing is not going to be great, the rise it shouldn't be great either.
So the very important thing is that we're going to drop weight really, really fast in this step. So if we go from that promenade, so we just finish here our outside change, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to think 1, 2, release the knee, 1, 2, release, 1, 2, release, 1, 2, release. So as you can see, we're not trying to do right now pop, 3, 1, because we will never make it around each other with that speed of the Viennese waltz.
So you could see that the rise wasn't really high, but what we did, we still release our hips across one or the other, because if we try to stay fairly flat, but we won't swing the hips, then we'll just feel like we're just running across the floor, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And obviously that will not give us the great joy of dancing Viennese waltz.
Okay, so one suggestion, it's very similar to samba. We keep the sternums towards each other, even though we shape outwards, but really quick release of the weight on every single 3.
The great tip I think I can give you about this particular step as the whole Viennese waltz is we shouldn't really pay attention to your feet. We shouldn't really see your feet when you're dancing. If we see your feet too much, that means your mind is too much into the steps, not the actual movement of the body. So even if it's a fast movement right now, we should still see the activity in the body, so the feet should just naturally follow that, okay?
Okay, so now we're moving on to the next part. It's a little canter or walk in a promenade position, following by the swivel. So this is a beautiful connection to get back us into close position in a different way. We're going to do a canter walk first, which we go both pick it up and we run. And we can repeat this a few times. We could do this with the beautiful styling. We can go shape it with the sway to the right or to the left. The most important thing is, like in every promenade position, no matter what we do, this is my home base. I cannot pass the gentleman. Yes, I need to stay behind him as we do this. So if we go from this step one more time, he can decide how big of a step he wants to do, when he wants to leave, and when I'm supposed to come. My energy still stays behind Sławek. So I don't feel like I'm in a competition with him to try to pass him.
Right, especially the way we place that step is because of the flip-flop right before, where we have quite a lot of speed in our body. So this particular step gave us a chance to slow down. So
it's like a brake in a car.
Right, so when we're going to dance the next step, which requires way more stability and stationary, this will give us the great awareness to do that. If you still continue of thinking of traveling, it will give you much harder time to enjoy yourself.
Okay, so we do this one more time, and then we will lead the swivel action, but I'm thinking we should maybe turn it this way. So the lady stays behind. We're going to go 1, 3, and then from here we will do a beautiful swivel. Swivel that it will allow me to close my hand to open position. And then from here we have a canter walk, 1, 3. Yes? So we'll do this one more time. We go 1, 3. The lady can go outward to connect, and then a canter walk around each other. Okay, as you can see, it has beautiful moments for the expression. We can very nicely close, and the beautiful thing about American Viennese waltz is that we truly can change any pattern from the closed syllabus and put it into the canter timing or hesitation timing and make it look very unique. Now, moving on into our last step in this particular choreography is the standing spin in Viennese waltz. We're going to really pay attention to the footwork, how the feet are going and into the center, and our feeling how we pull away from each other, the energy between the spines. So when we finish here with the canter walk, so I just finished swivel, we'll do can we do one more time canter walk, please? 1, 3, I can fulfill my energy immediately to Sławek's arm.
Yes, I can already feel while we're lowering, I can feel Marzena's body expanding into my arm. So that set us up right now for the rotary action.
So now we'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's very important that we feel still the rise and fall in this figure. We do not want to feel that there is just a flat running. So that would be incorrect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're running. We cannot see the Viennese waltz action in it. We cannot feel each other's body at all. So it's very important that every moment when we rise, we can feel a little bit of the pickup.
Feel a little bit more sort of like a let's say breathing rib cage is changing, is expanding and getting a little smaller in. So that rise should also feel in our body. So you should see if we're starting from the left foot, right? So we go, well, I go with the left, you go with your right, sorry. So we go 1 and see there's a little bit expanding, 3 and again, 1 expanding, right? So we're not rising just straight up. So we'll still feel like we're going a little bit further away from each other. So increase the energy and then we're coming back to the common center.
Okay, so as you could see, our spines were moving in and out, so we were not in the same position. We were expanding a little bit and then coming in, which immediately brings me to the last thing that is very important in that standing spin. No matter if Sławek will bring me closer to him, so if you just bend your elbow and you bring me closer to you, and then you send me away, I have to still stay at home. So girls, we are not changing the proximity by making a decision by ourselves.
And this is home, by the way.
This is home base, the right wrist of the gentleman. That's where my spine is going, and he can change the proximity. So if he just does this right now, you can see my body, it stays all the time in a home base. So I'm not moving by myself and making that call as a woman. So this is very important for the standing spin. So obviously there's few more patterns that we didn't show that we can do in a closed position. We all know natural turns and reverse turn actions. Those are classical steps. You can look into all the previous levels and borrow figures from the closed position to add it to your choreography. But we just want to make sure we show you enough of the patterns that they're different, they're more unique, and hopefully that will make you fall in love with this beautiful style of dance. And probably most favorite dance of most of the dancers, American Viennese Waltz. So now we're going to bring our amazing couple. We're going to bring Artyom and Katya to demonstrate this beautiful Viennese Waltz with the music. Thank you so much.
Seven, and.
That was beautifully danced. Thank you guys so much. We're so grateful that we could have you with us in this filming in the studio. We hope you guys will fall in love with American Viennese Waltz as much as we did. That was our favorite dance when we first started dancing American Smooth, and probably one of the most favorite ones until we finish. So good luck, enjoy, explore, take your close work and start playing with different tempos, and you will see how beautiful this everything can be. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.